your network is your net worth, right? I'm sure we've all heard that cliche, but this product, it makes it tangible, right? You can almost count the dollar bills of how much your network is actually worth by leveraging this tool.
Yeah, and I saw a question on the chat, and they were asking, well, like, is this only for luxury, or like, why this isn't really valuable to me? And I would say it's valuable to anyone who wants to know, how many, people live in my town that work for this company, or how many people who have a kid who's going to be going into kindergarten. And like, these are the things that are super valuable. There's hundreds of triggers, and everybody has their own methodology of what they think those are, but you can test these things, and you can then get a feedback loop on them, and you then find out, well, this worked, this didn't work. And the point is it saves you so much time, in the sense that you're just not blanketing. Like in the past, what I would do is send mailers out. And you know how expensive those are. I would spend $20,000 mailing this huge area. And, I'd have a rate of, a ROI of, I get two listings out of it. Was it worth it? Well, I made $25,000 per listing. So yes, it was worth it, but it's definitely ineffective. And so being able to actually, and people do not want mail coming to their front doorstep. And it really is the future, is being able to find out how to, you take this data and slice and dice it to what's working for you, and what you're finding is your best conversion rates, and work off those. It's like, well, I've been converting these, and also using it as a listing tool, because you really can count on, on one hand sometimes, who could buy a house, whether it's in the middle of the country where a house is $500,000 for a luxury home there. And there's only 10 or 20 people that may be able to buy that house in the town or out adjoining towns, or maybe someone whose company just got acquired, okay, and they're moving to this town because of the acquisition. Because typically when they're acquired, they have to spend a year at the company or two, doing the handoff.
It is really important to point out that this is not a tool that's meant exclusively for CEOs and $10 million homes, right? There are multiple positions that go down, deeper than CEOs, that are brought to light through this tool, so that no matter your price point, the price point is seemingly irrelevant. You want to know who can and who cannot buy a home. And the easiest way to do that is to know who is getting a promotion, who's selling stocks, who is coming into wealth, right? So CEO or not, that knowledge is all very, very valuable, regardless of the home price that you're listing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Randy, I'll add to that actually specifically. And what we surface sometimes is something, it's not just this, startups or IPOs and all. We got a couple of examples with really very, very high-end, high purchase acquisitions. And the example is Sprint. When Sprint got acquired, actually, those events obviously just blew up the database, because we've seen all the way to managers, directors, and all the way, of course, to the VPs, CEOs of Sprint. The top guys, they're going to make a buttload of money, but a lot of people underneath made some good, decent money. And we saw those events really kind of, they got sprayed across the nation. And there were a couple people in the Midwest actually that got excited about that, because actually they were following what was going on to happen in their region with Sprint, because Sprint was a major employer in their town. So there was an injection of a lot of money. So that's one example. And to your point, it's these Henrys. It's people that have not even bought a house. They're about to buy the new house. So that's a profile for a certain segment of a lot of the brokers and agents probably maybe on this call, that is of interest to them. But also it's a way to build long-term relationship, because when somebody basically makes the money. So a lot of people reach out to them because they know they made the money and they won the business. But if you are able to build this long-term relationship, when the money comes, and you know it will, there is a good propensity for it to happen, then basically you already have that relationship. And one other point, when it comes to basically relocation, we've seen in California, I think almost 700 major companies are moving out, and a lot of them to Texas. So Schwab, which was a major employer here, actually a lot of their people got transferred to Texas, and the way it worked out, there were these different agents. That one was out of San Francisco, and the one in Texas, in Dallas. They started sharing they connected up, and they shared their networks. So they were able really to work together from those relocation and serve those specific customers. So that was very helpful.